Welcome back. Today we're actually talking about shadow work. My name is Janine. If you don't know who I am, I'm a brand ambassador, I'm a spiritual coach, alchemist, a shamanic witch, and an everyday empowered, conscious, complete woman. You might ask yourself, what is shadow work? Well, Google says shadow work means exploring and integrating the hidden, repressed parts of yourself, your shadow, to achieve wholeness and healing, often involving confronting suppressed traumas, fears, insecurities, and negative traits that drive self-sabotage and unconscious patterns. It's a process of bringing unconscious darkness to conscious light, to reclaim lost potential, release emotional baggage, and to become more complete, balanced person. What is shadow? Hidden aspects, things we've rejected as not you, such as jealousy, anger, greed, or insecurities, often from childhood experiences. Repressed wounds, memories, traumas, and painful moments that energetically scar. Undeveloped potential, qualities that deemed bad that actually hold seeds for growth, like assertiveness, hidden by a need to be quiet. The purpose of spiritual shadow. Integration. Bringing these hidden parts into conscious awareness so they can no longer control you unconsciously. Healing. Releasing the power of past wounds and traumas that fuel negative patterns. Being authentic. Living more fully by accepting all parts of yourself rather than projecting them into others or acting out in self-sabotaging ways. Spiritual growth. A necessary step for deeper self-understanding, inner freedom, and moving towards enlightenment. How's it done? Self-reflection. Deeply examining triggers, reoccurring negative patterns, and internal conflicts. Confronting and reframing. Acknowledging negative feeling like shame and resentment, and finding the positive intent of lesson behind them. Healing inner child. Reconnecting with and comforting the younger self that was hurt or shamed. Let's start off with a positive note when it comes to this. I'm thankful for all the relationships that I've ever had in my life. And I'm very actually grateful because I wouldn't be the person I am today without these things happening to me. What they did happen to me. So, yeah, I put into ChatGPT and I was figuring out, I often do shadow work, right? And I often let ChatGPT help me with these things as well. So I put in shadow work for soulmates, to bring them physically into my life, and they came up with these questions, and I actually have the answer to them very quickly and very easily, because I've also, I've done shadow work before. It was kind of very hard for me, actually. Shadow work is not supposed to be easy. It's just not. I don't care what anybody tells you it is. It's very hard. It is very hard. Even being an empath, we can have so many labels that says that we're sensitive, we're empathetic, we're these, we can say that we're humble, we can say all these awesome things, but it's still going to be hard integrating your shadow. It always is. It always will be. So these are the questions and these are the prompts. And I had to kind of like sit back a little bit because I was just thinking to myself, I was like, yeah, these are the actually traits, because when I was in my last relationship, I could already see these things, you know, when I ended my last relationship, and this was like years ago, this was fucking like 10 years ago. It was in 2013 was my last relationship. And when I ended my last relationship, this is actually when I started to ascend and I went into the dark night of the soul. So this is when the shit truly hit the fan. So these are the questions, and I'm going to give you the answers. I'm going to share you my answers that it's very personal because I don't really share these things. So it's very personal, very intimate. So I'm going to share that with you today. Okay. So, okay, here we go. Okay. So, number one, it's mirror reflection. We are often most triggered by the traits in ourselves that we refuse to acknowledge in ourselves. The prompt. Think about your last few failed connections, or the people who annoy you most in dating. What is a specific trait that they all share? My answer was the lack of depth of emotion, empathy, and compassion. They lack the understanding of who I am at soul level, and they didn't come as a whole person. And I say this is because what I didn't know back then is where empaths, sensitives, they usually draw in broke people. And these are facts. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to judge anybody else's life. This is what I've learned along the way. You know what I mean? Like I said, I knew I was sensitive since I was a very young child. I knew I was different. But I didn't know what an empath was called. I didn't know what sensitivity was. I never knew any of these things until I was like in my 20s and my 30s. So I understand, but is that a lack? When it comes to love, I don't lack. It's more or less, I give my all. And when a broken person, a lackful person, a person that is not whole, that comes to me, and it is, you know what I mean? It's like, it is a reflection. It is a true reflection of these things, right? It is a true reflection. Okay. The shadow question. In what ways am I unavailable or needy towards myself? How am I neglecting my own needs in the same way I judge them for neglecting mine? My answer was, I was putting all my time and effort in my last relationship, and I forgot myself, as it never reflected back at me, only the lack. So all the positive things that I did in my last relationship literally did nothing. They never reflected back at me. You know what I mean? So it was nothing but toxicity that got reflected back. You know, and oftentimes oftentimes this is when it comes to a narcissist and an empath relationship or a connection. There's always going to be a lack there, and there's always going to be uh, a taker. There's always going to be a victim when it comes to an empath and a narcissistic, because it's not balanced. It never was balanced, and it will never be, because there's always a victim there. You know what I mean? It's not balanced. It's not at all. Okay. Number 2, the benefit of the barrier. We often say we want love, but the part of us, the shadow, might feel safer alone. The prompt: complete this sentence as fast as you can without overthinking. If I found my soulmate tomorrow, I would have to give up, and I put nothing. I literally would have to give up nothing, because I know today, as the person I am today, I'm a very whole person. I'm literally the whole package. So I don't need, you know what I mean? Like, I will be only adding to someone's life, not taking away. I know this for myself. I know how to hustle. I know how to get the bag. I know how to get brand deals. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. I know how to do a whole bunch of things. So it's like, I am truly the whole package. So, okay, the shadow question. Is there a part of you that views a soulmate as a threat to your freedom, to your privacy, or to your safety? How is staying closed actually trying to protect you? I answered, I'm actually very open to love. I don't consider my soulmate a threat to any of these things. In my perspective, a soulmate was never a threat. It's the complete opposite. You know what I mean? Like, I make room for a lover. I make room for a husband. I make room for a soulmate. You know what I mean? So, that actually, it goes hand in hand with your privacy. I don't mind sharing my privacy with this person. I don't mind, sharing my freedoms either. And then ultimately a soulmate should make you feel safe. They should never try to put you in danger or manipulate you in a way where you don't feel safe. Period. Fucking period. So it's like, that's just what is. That's facts. So number 3, the unlovable secret. We often hide parts of ourselves we think a partner would reject. Paradoxically, these are usually the parts that hold the greatest power and authenticity. I can't say that word right. Being authentic, right? The prompt. What is one thing about your personality or your past that you feel you need to hide until a partner gets to know you better? And I really didn't have to think about this. It's very emotional to me because, but my answer was my pain, dreams, and aspirations. Because in my perspective, I like to share my pain with the people that I love and hold so dear. Because to me, pain is a lover. I don't think pain is a bad thing to a point. And maybe that is because I am an empath, and maybe that is because I am an eccentric. So it's like, I know pain. Pain is a friend, pain is a lover, pain is a companion, pain is a god. I've learned from pain. So I do hold it very close. My dreams and aspirations, these are the hidden parts of myself that I keep very close to myself. So no, I usually don't tell people these things because you know I just don't. I don't. It's not because I'm afraid. It's, I don't know, it's just, I think there's some things that are meant to stay private until you actually meet the one, until you get close to this person. So I truly do believe that. So this shadow question, if you brought that hidden part into the light and loved it yourself, how would you change the energy you put out into the world? And I had to think about this for a little bit. Like, I had to think about this, is because it's like, I look at it from different perspectives, you know, and I'm being authentic anyway. I'm being myself anyway. So I just had to kind of like think about that. So my answer was, I will no longer be a victim to my own circumstance. So like I said, in my old relationship, I used to be in a relationship with a fucking narcissist for like 10 years. So I put that in perspective, right? I had to, after being out of the relationship and doing my shadow work, I had to put that in perspective. I had to reflect it back at myself, and it's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, why did I stay in that so long? And then I had to take it back to my childhood. I seen my mother go through some shit. I seen my sister go through some shit. And it was trauma. And this is one of the main reasons why I have very high standards today. It's not that I'm blocking out love or I'm blocking out men in general, but I know that a lot of men out here that are really good, but most men out here are just fucked up. They come with the wrong intention. Not because I'm hurt. No, it's because I'm fucking healed. This is why most women are pulling back from men nowadays, because they see the shit that's going on. Not because, it's not because we're broken, and it's not because there's something wrong with us. It's because we're getting fucking tired of your shit. You act like a fucking bitch, we're going to pull back. That's not masculine. That's not even a woman. That's something else. That's a fucking demon. And we're going to put you in the pit where you belong. You know what I mean? Excuse my language. But it's like, I had to reflect that about on my own life when it comes to like shadow work. It's a hard pill to swallow. But this is why I'm so strict on who I fucking date. You know what I mean? Like, if someone toxic comes my way, I will put that fucking demon in the pit really quick. I'm very quick. It doesn't mean I'm hurt or this or that. I actually heard from someone, and this would actually be correct as well. the more you heal, the more you're aware, and the more you're fucking quick to put someone in the fucking dirt real quick. You know what I mean? And I've realized that I'm a very healed person, and I don't take shit from people. If you don't like me, I don't give a fuck if you don't like me. Don't come towards me. You know what I mean? If you want someone that's easy, then go fucking that. There's a bitch down the street. You know what I mean? Don't come towards me. You know what I mean? If you're not open to marriage, and if you're not open to kids, then don't come towards me. You know, it is very easy. I've done shadow work for a long time, and this has a lot to do with shadow work. You know what I mean? Like, and is there a negative side of that? What I just said? Of course it is. It's my shadow coming to light. If you don't like it, leave me alone. You know, it is very simple. I'm not fucking begging for love. I'm not out here fucking a whole bunch of dudes. I'm not out here on the internet trying to hit up people's DMs like I'm thirsty for some dick. Nah, I can get dick anytime I want to. Trust and believe I can. But I don't. You know, it's not because I'm not open. It's not because I'm not thirsty. I'm not begging for it. You know, that's the difference between someone that does their soul work and shadow work than someone that's, you know, just laying down, spreading their legs. You know what I mean? Like, there is a difference. There is a difference between an awoken woman, a conscious woman, than someone that just fucks because they want to, and they can. There is a difference. Truly. So I'm going to end this video. I hope you've got some learning lessons. I hope this actually helps you in some type of way. I think I'm actually going to do a series, and I'm going to share it with you because obviously I'm a coach, so I'm going to actually start sharing some shadow work. I'm going to do like a 30-day shadow work. I'm going to post each day. Yeah, so, okay. So I'm going to end this video. Like, share, and subscribe if you want to hear more. And I hope you stay around. Yeah. I just hope you stay around, and I hope you subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Love you. Bye.